My name is Reverend Kimberly Wright. And as I'm touching in with my guides, I'm being impressed with imagine. If we imagine all of us as one, we imagine all of those people that we tend to not necessarily agree with, right? We tend to imagine all of those relatives, and we look to spirit to have those relatives come in, but they don't always necessarily agree on everything. Isn't that right? And we don't always agree with them, do we? So we also in life, sometimes we need our own space, and sometimes we need our own separation, and sometimes we need our own quiet time, like an adult quiet chair, don't we? Because we need that silence, we need that communion, we need that time where it's just for us to see that we are on the right track and we are doing the right thing. And sometimes it is healing we need. So it is time to go within, and time to work with our healing guide and bring that guide closer to us and work with that infinite source, whatever we think that infinite source is. We know it is there. We have full faith that it is there. We know that it is working for us in our life and in our daily activities. We know that it helps ground, center, and balance us so that we can go forth in our daily activities and know that we have that connection. If we're disconnected, we realize everything is chaotic, everything seems to be not what we desire it to. We have to take that walk. We have to take that path, understand that we do have the divine connection, that connectedness and that spark that we know is truly our own essence and truly our own force. And when I say that we are the ones that are connected, sometimes it is our own connection and it is our own power. It is our own source. So if we don't take care of that, if we don't take care of our own self, what do we have? Whether that's through prayer or through action, we need to, sometimes we have to take the personal responsibility, don't we? And we have to look at that man in the mirror and say, well, what is it that we need to change? What is it that we need to face? What is it that we were taught that we need to unlearn? Maybe it's not our parents' fault. We're blaming our parents for everything. We're blaming everybody for everything. We need to look at ourselves and say, how do we relate to things? What is it in our own self, not our guides, not our people that are around us? What do we need to do for us? It's us that is, we are looking at that man in the mirror. We can smile at the man in the mirror, or we can make a frown at that man in the mirror. It's our choice. And it's our choice to change that. It's not anybody exterior, that they are there to help us, but it's really up to us to do the work. And if it's a change we need, a change in our guide band, or a change in our, we're not liking what's transpiring, we can make that difference and change that vibration, can't we? So maybe it's a vibration that we're not liking. We can just switch it to another vibration that we do like. Sometimes we feel stuck, or we feel that we can't get out of a situation, or we feel trapped. The only way that we're feeling untrapped is either A, we look at the situation in a different light, or B, we move out of the situation. And then we gain new guides, we gain a new understanding of the situation. We could look at all angles of the situation. Maybe we could think of things in a different way. And sometimes we take on as people, sometimes we take on a little too much and we realize, no, this is not helping me. Am I expending my energy? Am I appreciated? Am I valued? What benefit does this situation have for me? It's not about the money sometimes. It's more about the energy that we bring into ourselves. And if it is bringing us joy, we stay in it. If it's not, we go. But what do we learn from this situation? Yes. So our guides and our teachers, they don't always want to tell us what we should and shouldn't do. They can guide us and help us. But ultimately, it is our choice. And now going into our healing vibration, we realize that this helps us to heal. It helps us to free ourselves. It helps us to feel that we're productive. Even if not one person is sitting in our chair, or if 10 people are sitting in our chair, spirit people may be sitting in our chair and may need help and upliftment. Maybe there's more people in this church than we can see that need some help and upliftment. And we're here as a vehicle, or we're here as a conduit to help both sides, and to not look at the face value of something, but to look at an intermediary, a channel, the medium. Take the me out of the medium. And we're here to either heal, or we're here to help communicate between this side and the other side. Sometimes people do need some help and assistance. Sometimes they may have something to say, and sometimes it's not always who we want to come through. Sometimes it is that relative that we have the issue with that needs help in transitioning. And sometimes it's us that need help in understanding that, okay, there was an issue, and you're feeling that you maybe got that treated inappropriately, or not having an understanding of where that person was. And sometimes it's alcohol or drugs or some other form of, it wasn't that person, the drugs took over and they acted a certain way that was inappropriate. And and they couldn't get out of that addiction. They never got that help. Sometimes it's us that helps them to progress, and we pray for all of those people that need any kind of addiction or their alcoholism, or we pray for all of those people. I was sitting having a conversation with a lawyer friend of mine whose son passed away with fentanyl. She thought she was a horrible mother. I said, no, I don't think you were. It's not your fault that he had an addiction issue. But she couldn't understand that. She thought she was a horrible mother. But no, she was not a horrible mother. But now he comes through and he was filled with love and light and understanding. And he came through in exactly his personality, everything about him. And sometimes we don't change or become enlightened when we're over on the other side. Sometimes we have to face the man in the mirror on the other side. And it might take us a long time before we progress. But with the healing energy, sometimes that will help those people. Also, spirit does make themselves known to us, not by, sometimes it's by things we don't expect. Like one time, I know I was headed towards, I think I was with Reverend Herman, and I was headed towards one of the camps that we were going to, and he was going to serve. And we were sitting, and it was just 3 people, and we were not expecting to hear anything, and all of a sudden this person made themselves known, and just it sounded like I don't know, it kind of sounded at first like he may have been on a respirator or something. It came in very slow, very soft spoken, and he was asked to raise his vibration or raise his energy up so we can understand him a little more and hear him more directly. So that's exterior, and everyone heard it. So it was a physical phenomena, and we all heard the voice, and it was a spirit voice. It was not in the room. He was just letting us know he was there. But that's happened many, many times for me. And it's reiterated for me that spirit is ever present, and spirit is in our lives every single day, and it's given me the faith to know that there is another side, and they are ready to communicate. But it's up to us as well to know who we want to communicate with first off, and know without a doubt that spirit is present and in our lives. There was another camp that I went to it's called Lilydale, and it's in New York. My friend brought what's known as a trumpet, which is like a comb, and spirit can speak through it, and they can build an ectoplasmic cord and a larynx. So we did see the trumpet go drag right across the dresser, because she had it on the dresser, and I'm like, well, that's interesting, because they were trying to make themselves known there. One time, just randomly, it wasn't even a class or anything. We saw the trumpet levitate about 5 inches up off the top of the trumpet, but we didn't get a voice come in. And this is basically with trumpet mediumship. It wasn't even in a cabinet that this happened. This was a normal, everyday experience. And it wasn't just me, my friends saw it as well. So they do want to make themselves known. And they are ever present in our life. So I would just like to close with, imagine all the people, but also imagine all the spirit people that are all around us. They want to have closure, and they want to help us understand why they were like the way they were. So I'd like to leave with words of, just imagine all of the people, and imagine that we have many other things that we can see that are not always what they appear to be. And I'll leave you that with blessings from Spirit, and know that our guides, no matter how lonely we are there, and know that we always have a friend when we're in need. And I'll leave that with you with blessings from Spirit.